All right, so yes, it's you caught us off camera. We're having just a hearty conversation, but I've been joined by, I guess, for this morning for News Flash, lawyer Kwame Jantua. He makes the point always that is Jantua. If you say Jantua, he will say Jantua. And then Austin Bracco.
That's the name my father gave me. I have to pronounce it properly. I can't pronounce it any other way. His spirit is watching over me.
All right. So, yes, Lea Kwame Jantua. And Austin Bracco. Good morning. And you're both welcome to Joy Prime. So, yes, I want to start with you, Lea Kwame Jantua. It was last week that you told us about how the floods had really, taking a toll on you, and you lost virtually everything. I want to find out from you how far things any better. Have you been able to recover? Where are you sleeping?
Recover. My mattress is dry.
Have you gotten some
I said
relief?
my mattress is dry. I've been able to dry my mattress.
Okay.
So I'm sleeping on the bed now.
But the government earmarked almost 350 million.
Am I part of that?
For relief. So you could be a beneficiary. At least with your unique situation, I think you should.
Nobody has said anything to me. What for me is striking is the fact that I had to do the road in front of my house.
Okay.
I had to bring in gravel. I had to get an excavator to do the road. Because if I were to wait for assemblyman, local district, I don't think it would have happened. And it was impossible. So if they're going to compensate me for anything, that is the thing they can compensate me for.
All right. Very well.
But I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Okay. All right. We're glad to hear that. But yeah, yesterday I was out and about. I was out on the field, and I was speaking with some residents of affected areas. So we're at Tesano Park and also at Alajo. And from my conversations with the people, it turns out that yes, their names have been taken down.
Okay.
So essentially there's some registration that has taken place. But the people are expecting that government would bring them the relief. They, if you've taken our names or registered us, we're expecting that we'll get something. So I got that sense. And so I'm also putting out the appeal to government that the people are saying, yes, their names have been taken, but they need help. There's actually
when you say their names have been taken, how has it been taken? Who was taking their names?
No, so they tell me...
Assemblies members.
I bet you reading.
Let me give you an example.
All right.
I'm on the committee that is looking at reimbursing the spillage, Akosombo spillage.
All right.
Which happened 3 years ago.
Yes.
We have had to gather data. We have had to go into the affected communities, work with the districts, gather the data, make sure that they have MOMO numbers, and the MOMO numbers correspond with their Ghana card numbers.
Right.
We've had to be able to choose 2 banks that monies will be paid into.
For them to disperse.
Those who haven't got Ghana cards, we have pushed them to go get Ghana cards. So there is a process.
Right.
So with this one, how is that process? Who is going to do it? Who is going to collect those names, and what kind of data are you looking at? It has to be a structured thing.
Exactly.
If you don't structure it, you finish and you hear 300 million. How much was the money?
350.
350.
But not all 350 is supposed to be going to the people.
Whatever is going to the people. We don't want a situation where aftermath, and they didn't distribute all the money. Some of the money went here, some of the money went. We don't want that. So it has to be structured. If it's not structured from the onset, it creates problems with the process. So who is going to do it?
Right.
Government should be able to identify to us. We have set these people up, if it's banks, to handle it. And the bank has processes for these types of things.
Yes, they do.
If you pass it through the banks, it's easy to do, but the structure should be in place.
Right.
How much are you talking about?
I'm not aware of the structure. So
let's ask the question.
Yes, yes, we should be able to ask the question.
And then you need to be able to categorize those who have lost buildings, those who have lost businesses, all that. You need to be able to categorize it. So I'm wondering, how is it going to be done?
We should be able to get details.
But my concern has to do with the transparency of the whole thing. And like you intimated, out of the 350 million Ghana cedis, 200 has been earmarked to undertake the humanitarian assistance services. But like Senior complained, the modalities. Because if you want to reach out to people, victims of the recent flooding. So every Ghanaian must know how you are going to go about it.
Right.
And who is, and the rankings, in terms of, like he suggested, those who lost the entire property, those who did not lose the entire property, how are you going to read them? Everything must be in the public domain. Ghanaians should know. Otherwise, we wake up one day and they will tell us that they'll be able to distribute all the 200 million Ghana cedis. To whom?
And whether those who have lost property are actually entitled to compensation.
Yes.
Or it's part of what they're trying to do.
Because we've been in this country where COVID-19 reliefs were given to party members. And those who genuinely needed the money did not get it. So we must be able to stop, put in place measures to prevent some of this happening.
We should be transparent about it.
Very transparent.
And if somebody has lost something, they should be able to prove that they've lost something.
Exactly.
If they can't prove, you're not giving them money. You would find people coming from all places to come and say, I lost X, I lost Y.
The problem.
So the structure, for me, the structure is very important, and we've got to be able to do it in such a way that that money is utilized for what it is meant for.
All right.
Otherwise, you see 6 months down the line, the money didn't come. Then a whole lot of guagua.
All right. So, yes, it's a valid point that our panelists are making, and so we should be able to get that. I'm hoping that production can arrange for us to get to speak with someone who can explain the process to us, so that we can also, give the people who are expecting the relief some feedback. But yes, the people were asking for mattresses. One of the key things that we're asking for at Alajo, for instance, so is that they need mattresses because they don't have anywhere. They've been able to clean up their rooms, but because their beds and everything else have been washed away, they don't have anything to lie on. So if they could get mattresses, which also ties in very nicely with the relief initiative that has been launched by Multimedia, where Multimedia is saying that we're taking in your donations so that we can get to, send out these donations to people. So we're still expecting the donations to come in. You can bring your donations to the front desk of Joy FM, to the studios of Joy Prime, Joy News, Adum. We're in the same space at Fanofa, Kukumlimle. You can bring them in so we can send out some of the relief to the people. So,
Israel, what were you saying? You said you went to Alajo, and what did they say to you? So they need mattresses.
I was at Alajo.
Yes.
There was a certain community where essentially everything has been washed away.
Yeah.
And so they needed full mattresses.
Basic things.
Yeah.
But this is where you need to go into that community and assess the situation, take statistics.
So those were the ones who said their names had been. They were one of those who said their names.
But do you think it's only mattresses they need? Do you think it's only mattresses they need?
I would want to think if their names have been taken, they probably at that time would have, asked them what are some of the things that they would need.
So those who are doing it should inform the media so that everybody knows
the process. And even my concern issue has to do with the fact that the thing is that some need urgent attention, like the ones you spoke to at Alajo. They need a mattress. How long are they going to get a mattress? And how are they going to sleep? These are matters because if you are putting in place a relief mechanism, you must be able to rank them in terms of urgency. Those that needed immediate attention,
But at this present moment, the mattresses shouldn't be part of the money they are going to give. NADMO should straight away provide them.
These are immediate urgency.
It's immediate where they will sleep. Straight away, NADMO should go in. All those who don't have mattresses, here are mattresses. At least, if you don't have a bed to sleep on, you can put it on the floor and sleep on the floor.
Yes.
It's not part. You shouldn't wait for the money to come before you do mattresses. No. And in addition, those who manufacture mattresses, they should also try as much as possible to donate.
So the government should reach out.
This is crisis period. Try and donate. And if they feel they have to donate a huge quantity, government should also be prepared to give them some compensation. It's hang go, hang come. But it just can't be one-sided. And everything government. No.
Yeah. So that gives me an idea, actually. We should be able to reach out to some of these foam manufacturing companies.
Yes.
It is part of the...
Look, this is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone to the day we have an earthquake in this country.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone to the day we have an earthquake in this country. We've never had a massive earthquake in this country, so we don't know what it would take. But this should be the litmus test for us to see how we'll be able to respond to it. The fire service, the police, the army, the people. We should start putting things in place for that day, because it will happen. It will happen. But maybe not in my time, but it will happen.
It may. But Israel, the thing is our response to emergency is sometimes, very unsatisfactory.
Yes,
and very sad.
I agree.
Just imagine, how long did we witness, or when did we witness the flooding?
It was
almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're getting 2 weeks ago. Wait, so it was last week.
Exactly. And all that we hear, meetings upon meetings upon meetings upon meetings. So imagine we had witnessed...
And then the minority also arguing about where the money has been taken from.
Exactly.
350 million.
350 million.
Israel, in the oil industry, what is the number one thing that oil companies look at?
Safety.
EHS. Safety. Yeah. So we, as a country, as parliament, should vote massive amounts of money to buy fire tenders and ambulances. To buy fire tenders and ambulances. In case there's an emergency like this, they would just be going in to save people. How many fire tenders does the fire service have? How many? Really, how many ambulances do we have in Ghana today?
And indeed, they've also been complaining that the fleet that they have is aging.
It's aging.
Because it's gotten to a point where it's supposed to be for, I believe, 5 to 7 years, and they're stretching it. So at this point, they're breaking down more often.
You'll break down.
So who is planning that? This is something Parliament should take up.
Except when you start talking about these things, and it becomes a procurement gig for someone.
It becomes a what?
Procurement gig.
But you've got to be able to handle it well.
The people are complaining, they're agitating for ambulances. So let's put together a contract and
but
give
it
to
shouldn't
somebody.
be like that. That is not how the procurement process is done. It shouldn't be like that. So someone will see and say, no. That is wickedness.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
But it's wrong. We've got to stop it.
The thing is that PPA, Public Procurement Authority, has become a mere rubber stamp.
Why?
No, to the point that...
So why?
To the point that even goods and services that are supposed to be procured through the competitive bidding are subjected to the sole sourcing. And the justification, when you read the justification for undertaking sole sourcing, in fact, you ask yourself whether those people can really justify this in front of the public. But because they'll reduce it into writing and they'll submit it to the Public Procurement Authority, and it won't be in front of Ghanaians, they feel they are safe.
And
these are matters...
But Paul, we are not helping our people. We are not helping our people. What do they pay taxes for? When in times of emergency, the services aren't there to help them. What is it for?
And up to date, we've not distributed. I only saw some MPs distributing mattresses, particularly I think one MP in the Volta region.
It should just come automatically.
So if the government is not doing that, what are the MPs doing?
The MPs are there to legislate.
No, but the thing is that, Senior, this is emergency. And a while ago, you talked about the fact that the corporate institutions and mattress manufacturers should also come in. In terms of emergency, we must all step up.
Yes.
We must all step up and contribute towards how we will ameliorate the suffering of the people.
Yeah.
But we're almost into the second week of the flooding, and we've not seen any concrete evidence beyond the money allocated, the money allocated, and the controller creating the accounts, the disaster management committee accounts at the Bank of Ghana. Beyond that, what has the government done?
We need to get some updates from the team that is involved. Hopefully, the production team is going to raise somebody on the line so we get to speak to them about it. But then the other issue we should be looking at is the general cleaning, which is supposed to be happening starting from tomorrow.
Friday, Saturday.
I believe this is also very necessary because, yesterday I was out there and the trash that Friendly Drip has been trying to get out of the communities. It's quite a lot. There's a lot of trash out there. A lot of it created a result of the floods because people, a lot of it too would have been washed into the drains, and that's where they also have to be. And I learned yesterday that DRIP, the District Road Improvement Program, has been repurposed, and they've been giving another mandate to support the flood relief. So then the heavy equipment that they have, they're using that to also desilt some of the drains, and for communities where trash has been gathered as a result of the floods, they're also going into those communities to get to bring out the trash, and they're doing extensive work as far as that is concerned. But that's just a precursor to what we're expecting to happen tomorrow, which is the day one of the national cleanup. So for tomorrow, it's going to be the MMDAs, the government agencies. They are supposed to be CEOs and the rest are also all supposed to be out there working and cleaning up. And then on Saturday, we're going to have the general cleaning for everybody else. But yes, we all agree that it's a laudable initiative, don't we?
All this, you tell me, all this stems back into the economy. Look, apart from the trash that we see, one of the major elements of gutters choking is laterite. And it's got to do with roads that haven't been constructed. So the water does what? Carries it.
It washes off.
In my case, the gutter in front of my house, although there was a lot of trash around, a lot of the what was in the gutter was sand and stone.
Yeah.
So we had to dig that, and that sand and stone, that's what turns into mud. So it all comes back to how we're doing our roads. And some of us have said, side roads in a society, we can do paving blocks. I keep saying this, that all the side roads, we can do paving blocks. There is an advantage there. You create business within the community. Because there are people within the community who can do paving blocks. And what you do is that the consistency of the paving blocks is what you monitor. They put the right degree of cement, right degree of sand. And the thing about paving blocks is that, depending on how you do it, when it rains, water can still seep through. And when one cracks, you just take one out and fix another.
Right.
So it's easily maintainable. So if we don't do that, then when it rains and the water gushes out, it brings all the sand, it brings all the debris, and it chokes the gutters. And especially when the gutters are narrow, my gutter, it filled with sand and stone to the level of the road, and it was just washing over it. Right. So, yes, I believe the rubbish should be done, but then tell me, is this a 9-day wonder? Is this only for the 2 days, or it is something that is going to be continuous? Are we only moving the rubbish that has been gathered because of the floods, or we are instituting this as something that we will do every time, every other month? Because it has to be continuous.
There has been the call for that we probably should be doing it every month. This one is quite unprecedented because the trash that has that's gathered as a result of the floods is not the usual. So yes, this is quite unprecedented. But yes, the call has been made that we probably should be having it more regular.
So when we collect, where is it going to? What's the process? What's the chain? It's not just a question of collecting the rubbish. Where is it going to? Because if you don't dispose of it properly, it's going to come back in some other form, in some other place. So we need to know what is that process. So we clean, they collect, where is it going to? Some people have said, I was listening to Joy the other day on this thing. People are saying that we should stop the tricycles collecting rubbish. Because the tricycles, if the landfill site is far, they are not prepared to ride
go all the way.
They even break down.
So they find somewhere to just deposit the rubbish. And maybe that creates employment. But I have said, let's formalize it. Let's give them uniforms. Let's put them in a structure. Let's do some cooperative for them.
Let's monitor.
So that it is structured properly.
Yeah.
A lot of these things aren't structured properly. Even our trotros, if we were to formalize our trotros and get our trotro drivers uniforms and all that, you'll see a structure in place. But we are not doing it.
Okay. So now let me introduce our third guest for the morning. He's Dr. Pakwesi Eduafo Beidu, the Sustainability Consultant and Lecturer at UNIMA. Good morning to you for joining us. I know you've been seated here for a bit, and you looked at the conversation was
as well.
Yes, above your head. But we're talking about, our initial comments have to do with the floods and the aftermath of the floods and the impact on the people and what government is seeking to do. Yesterday, I was out on the field and I was speaking to some residents who had been affected. And one of the things they were asking for instance, were full mattresses or mattresses, because all of what they had, their beddings, had been washed away. So when we're talking, Lawyer Kwame Jantua was making the point that we need to have modalities in place, even for registering. The people had indicated that their names had been taken, but they haven't heard anything yet. So, yes, he was saying that the people responsible should come out and indicate the modalities so that everybody else, and update the people as to how far we're expecting or things have gone. So, yes, that's the conversation we're having so far. Were you impacted by the floods at all?
Not
in any way? Okay.
Not at all. Luckily.
All right.
Luckily, I was not impacted.
Lawyer Kwame Jantua was heavily impacted.
Very unfortunate. I think I read, when the issue came up about it. So, lawyer, this one day.
Part and parcel of life.
Yeah. But you're happy to receive donations, right? If somebody decides that.
Why not?
It's amenable. In fact, it's a victim. It's a victim. So I would even urge the committee.
I was referring to Doc. So, Doc, if you...
Oh, okay.
I will see him in chambers.
Maybe he can announce his Momo line.
Say it here now. Let me know. I can hold responsible.
By example,
so that the people who are watching are my...
So please bring your checks.
Yes.
Yes, Israel. Good morning to you and good morning to my co-panelists.
Good morning.
And I think I came to meet very interesting and insightful, contributions. This flood issue, Israel, I think I have a lot of things to say, but I'll just put them in summaries.
All
okay.
Right.
Number one, looking at the time the incident happened, the incidents, till now, it is too much of a time for us to go into, to do this cleanup exercise in the first place.
You think so?
Yes. When I was coming, I passed through Alajo. The debris, the waste are still piled up there. Okay. Now, the reason why I feel we could have done this far earlier.
So you mean we should have done this much earlier?
Timing.
So let me, not to hold brief for them, but yesterday on my rounds, then I got to realize that apparently some work is being done. DRIP is out there evacuating or, getting the trash out of the system. But it's a lot. And so they're still ongoing. They're still involved in it.
That
except
is why
they are declaring tomorrow and Saturday as a day where everybody else should be involved in it.
That's why I still believe we could have treated this with that kind of urgency.
So maybe this
much more
cleaning day, National Cleaning Day, should have happened maybe last week.
Far before.
All right.
Far before tomorrow. Okay. The reason is that, look, health doesn't matter the volume of waste. if the people are impacted, I'm even starting with health. Now, as we speak, irrespective of the volume of debris left there or the waste left there, what it means is that they are exposed to health hazards.
Yeah.
And so until tomorrow and Saturday, the people today are still exposed to those health hazards. Okay? And that's why I feel that could have been more...
Much earlier.
Much earlier. We could have treated it with that kind of urgency, that emergency approach to deal with things. We could have tackled it from that angle. Okay? I mean, the mattresses and stuff, yes, I know it will take some time and all that. But for the health aspect, just for that reason, we could have done this far earlier. That is my first take on that. Now, the issue of mattresses and the list that has been provided and all that. Look, this one, I will just plead with the authorities. We all know that when you go to district assemblies right now, the NADMO directors are appointed by, they are political appointees. The regional NADMO directors are political appointees. Now, we know how we have been doing and playing our politics in this country. When somebody knows that an NDC person is not an NADMO director, that sense of entitlement as an NDC member, through the director who was once a member or part of him or her, is likely going to tilt the discussion as to, do this for me, I'm your party member. The other person is affected, but after all, he didn't work for us. Just leave him behind. We are pleading with authorities. We know their identities as directors. We know where they are coming from. But this is about all of us. And so we plead with them that they should be very objective and ensure that each and everyone who is affected is well met, is well addressed, so that it won't bring about the chaotic scenes that we mostly find when these post-emergency supports are being provided. Right. We've heard it several times. As we speak now, the June 3rd victims, is it June 5th, right?
June 3rd.
June 3rd victims. As we speak now, they are in court, agitating for their compensations and all that. Why must 10 years, more than 10 years, why must we have this discussion? Okay, so I'm only pleading with authorities that they should put the politics aside and ensure that each and every human being who is affected by this flood thing is well catered for. But Israel, you see, the bigger picture really is about our sanitation, okay, our sanitation and the way we have been handling sanitation issues in this country. We are talking about flood today. And what is the issue? Israel, we are just not planning our space. Spatial planning in Accra, if not Ghana, is a big problem, okay? Because Nana was talking about roads, the pavement and all that. I can tell you that some of the drains that we even have, put aside the waste, the rubbish and all that, the drains are always overloaded. Why? Because even individual houses in Accra, you find that almost everybody, when he or she builds, they want to either pave or put tiles on their compound, their own walled compounds. They want to tile every place, they want to pave every place. Now what that means is that, like Nana said, the soil, the land is not able to soak water anymore. Yeah. And so when it rains, they will just slip off and then find the next drain. Now, what it means here is that if every house, or if most houses are green conscious, environmentally conscious, that, I've built my house, let me leave some space for small garden or even grass, the compound. Automatically, when it rains, the water will just seep in, and then there's less water going into the drains. Okay, so imagine one house, 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses, all doing something similar. Can you imagine the amount of water or rainfall that we can avoid moving into our gutters and then eventually leading to spillover? So there are so many things wrong with our spatial planning.
I agree.
So many things with our spatial planning. As for the building on waterways and wetlands and all that, I think you have discussed it several times. I've been on other platforms, we discussed it, so I don't want to go there again, but they are all part of the problem. But we are not planning our spaces. As we speak now, landfill, we are talking about the tricycles moving waste to long distance and all that. We are struggling even to get landfill sites. I don't want to call them landfill sites. Maybe dumping site in Accra. So these tricycles have to travel from here to Nsawam to go and dump waste and come back. I mean, these are private, small businesses trying to do something for their livelihood. You think they even have that commitment to travel that far and go and dump and come? How much are they going to earn a day if they have to travel that distance? And if you go to Nsawam, it's not just at the junction somewhere at Nsawam. You go deep inside some far area.
So is that where the new dumping site is?
That is where they've been dumping recently.
Right.
The Pond one now, they are having problems with dumping because, as of February, the minister even issued that the place is full up and that the alternative has been. So it all boils down to the spatial planning. You see, the reason why the spatial planning is still important here is that if we have a landfill site or dumping site and the place is becoming full, even before it even gets full, there's an alternative already. But still about spatial planning, where are we going to get the land? How are the chiefs involved? I'm sure we'll talk about the chiefs, as we move on. So,
but we have a special planning department.
We do. What don't we have, Nana?
So what is happening?
What don't we have in Ghana?
When you look at the 40-year National Development Plan that we developed, go read the spatial planning in that document. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
So his point is implementation.
Yes,
but then once you have it in place, try and implement. And what they'll come and tell you is that, but plan towards it.
But Senior, that plan cannot be implemented. Because that plan, it was, if from those, the other political divide, they believe they were not duly consulted. So as for the 40-year development plan, I don't want us to double it because clearly it was dead on arrival.
It's one of the best plans we've ever done. Go and read it.
It should be. But the thing is that it's a consultation and the ownership issue. The thing is that the problem with our politicians has to do with ownership. If they didn't bet that project, implementation or execution becomes
no. But I think that it's good. You're agreeing with Nana. It's all about implementation.
So what I'm saying is that 40-year development plan did not receive.
Because they feel they were not
involved. Did not receive the involvement. The involvement.
No, but is it a good plan? The question is it a good one?
It's a fantastic. Go read it.
If it's good, okay, if it's
go
good,
read it.
If we all agree that this plan is good, then what obstructive? You see, I mean, that's the political will, the political commitment is a whole discussion.
It is not a question of political will.
It's not an issue of political will.
It's a question of knowing that this is a national issue that we should all sit and discuss and come to solutions on it. The police should come out of... NPP people, didn't they get flooded? C people didn't get flooded. NC people didn't get flooded. PS didn't they get flooded? Everybody. So where does the politics come in?
No, but the thing is that, you must understand that we must be able to clearly delineate between what is partisanship and what is in the public interest. And when we're able to do that fine distinction...
You think we don't know?
But we don't do it. We don't put it in practice. Because that's what I'm saying that the 40-year development plan, some section of the political divide felt they were not involved. They were not consulted. So ownership becomes an issue.
Listen, Paz, let me tell you. They were consulted. They decided not to bring anybody. There was only one MPP member on that team.
Participated.
Ashon. He was the only one.
You see, I'm even thinking, granting that policy was developed by the other political party, the question is, would they...
It was developed by the NDPC.
NDPC, good.
So it's not a political thing. NDPC is under the president.
The presidency.
Of course, we know. So obviously, obviously why you're saying is right.
But Paz, that is where this now comes in. NDPC should be
separate
on its own.
Should be independent.
Take it away from the presidency because they sit and look at planning for the country.
Yeah. And I think the Constitutional Review Committee, their report, they made
suggested yes,
such institutions should be relooked at. So I think hopefully.
But like you touch on the political, whether the politician would want to give.
To feed that independence
I agree.
Because they would want to still control. Or appoint.
That is the issue.
And the challenge would happen in it tends to be the problem. Who is appointing?
Exactly.
If the person feel this person appointed, then when they next come to power, they feel okay, then they should appoint. And then you tend to realize that the people who actually end up being appointed become people who are colored or probably even don't have what it takes to be there.
Of course.
because it's political patronage. You're just putting somebody there.
It's unfortunate the way, our politics is now. It's very unfortunate. Now most of the institutions that are supposed to be manned by technocrats.
Yeah, politicians are taking over.
Some of them are technocrats, all right, but the politician will still come in.
Who should have taken the lead with these discussions? Who? Which fraternity should have taken the lead with this discussion?
No, at some point, some government has to do it.
It should have been the engineers. They should have come up front, not politicians. They should have come up front. They should have come up. This flood discussion. And tell us kind of structures we can put in place for everybody to hear. That's what they did in Japan. When Japan was flooding in the early 60s.
The engineers have...
They've done that.
But are they taking the forefront? Are they being given the chance?
Are they given the chance?
Yes,
So that should be the question. That should be the question.
So somebody has to bring them. A politician has to bring them into
No,
the
but it
conversation.
shouldn't be so. They should be able to push forward with it.
So yes, they've come out to say
they've done enough.
They will push forward as advocates.
The politicians won't want we should hear them in parliament. We should hear them with the executives. This is what we have to do so that the people too can listen. Come on.
The thing is that, as he stated, the Ghana Institution of Engineering is ever ready to help in addressing this flooding issue. But as an institution be given a center stage? No. And Israel was pointing out,
let them push themselves there.
They've issued alerts, they've issued statements.
Yes, let them push themselves there to show up the politicians.
And now you're talking like an advocate.
But the politician will not give you the space.
No, because they have the laws. They have the power.
They control the space.
Executive.
They have
democracy has given them.
But they should listen. They want us to listen to them. They don't want to listen to the engineers. What's that?
And I think now you have to talk to the politicians.
But you see,
we've put politicians on some high table as if without them we can't do anything. But we are all Ghanaians. And we see some of the things that can be done right. And because the politicians don't want it to happen, we are sitting, no, let's call them out.
Unfortunately, we are in a democratic dispensation, okay? These politicians, we will have to elect them to get there.
Yeah.
So the point is, it's either you, Nana, who has the will, avail yourself to contest and get there.
So let me ask you a question. You said we would what?
We have to
vote them in.
Yes.
What are they there for? They are there to serve us, not to sit on our necks. And that is what they should understand.
And that is why you need to hold them accountable.
That is in theory.
Look, the first thing that came to mind with my road, the first thing wasn't to call the assemblyman. The first thing that came to my mind is, Kwame, this thing needs to be fixed. I'll fix it. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And I took action. When I took action, my other neighbors saw what I was doing. They also came and brought another bucket of stone, a truck of stone, to be able to do the road. That is how it should be done. Now, when the politician sees that, he says, the people are trying, then they come and add to it. Yeah. What politician has come there?
This is the reason why, Israel, I was still talking about the fact that the timing for this
cleanup exercise
was for me not okay, not right. You see, the president has appointed district chief executives. All the districts or constituencies which were affected, they have district chief executives. You are representing the government or the president within that enclave. Must you wait for the president to declare nationals cleaning before you descend into the gutters to say we are cleaning? Meanwhile, every district has an admin director.
Yes.
Every district has a
Are they appointed or are they voted?
They are appointed.
The president should sack all of them.
They're appointed.
Even drip. We also have drip officers or drip managers.
This is where I say this is a national issue.
I agree. They won't sack them. They won't sack them. But ordinarily,
this is where I say the president should be ruthless. You didn't do your work. Go. Let somebody else come. Then next time they will listen. Because really, it shouldn't be the president to come and announce this.
Coming up very well. I agree with you.
It's not the president who should announce this.
I don't think it's coming.
So talking about sanitation and the cleanup and all of that, we have Florence Kuchi, who's the Director of Public Health at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. She's joined us on the phone right now. Good morning to you, Madam Kuchi. And it's good to have you here with us again. Now, what's the plan for tomorrow?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and good morning to your guests and your cherished viewers and listeners. So tomorrow, what is going to happen is that all institutions are going to start their cleanup exercise tomorrow. While the institutions, we know more than 98% corporate institutions doesn't go to work on Saturdays. However, once everybody take part in this cleanup, it is a cleanup a policy or the account of the has a name as our star, our health, and the country after the fact. So with that, everybody.
All right, Florence, we seem to be having a challenge. Your line is not very clear, so we can't hear you very, very well. I don't know
Let me just find it. Is it okay now?
Okay, let's try with this.
It's better.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So tomorrow Friday is for all institutional bodies, healthcare facilities, corporate, educational, all institutions. We are going to start their cleanup tomorrow because we know on Saturday most of them are likely not to come to town.
Yeah.
I want this to be an all-inclusive work. So tomorrow, cleanup is going to start with the institutional bodies. Then Saturday, all the community members will now come up. Now, somebody is going to ask, when all the institutional bodies clean their waste, how are they going to collect it? So the assemblies where the institutional bodies find themselves inside are going to also work tomorrow with the institutional bodies. So when you clean your frontage and distill your frontage, all the waste that you are going to create will be collected to the final disposal site. So no waste is going to be left uncollected.
Now the concern too is, because you brought up the issue of the final disposal site, where are the final disposal sites? Because that issue has come up, that the landfills we're using are full up. So where are we sending the trash eventually? Where is it ending up eventually?
In fact, the landfills, but the one we have at the park around in Sawom is not full up. And
right.
Due to this cleanup exercise that we are going to do for tomorrow and Saturday, they have opened up the transfer stations that were not working. So they have opened up 4 transfer stations in addition to the tertiary compost plant. So waste will go to the tertiary compost plant. We have the Arikop transfer station. We have the Achimota transfer station. So all these transfer stations are open. The reason is that there are long tracks at these transfer stations. So once we collect the waste within the city center, we send them to the transfer station to make the turnaround time short. Because if you want to travel waste from the city center to at the back of Insawam, the turnaround time is over 90 kilometers. Coupled with the traffic, it is not going to be possible. It will not be viable. That is why all the transfer stations have been opened. So when you collect the waste, you send it to the transfer station into the long truck. Then in the night, they will move it to the landfill site.
All right. So at least 2 things that we're learning this morning is that we have a landfill site that's not filled up. That's the Adepa landfill site somewhere behind in Sawam. And then the second thing is the transfer stations. There are several or a number of transfer stations that is supposed to reduce the commute to Adepa. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. Is Adepa the only landfill site? Are we developing others, even because at some point Adepa is also going to be full?
There are other assemblies that are coming together to get landfill sites outside the city, Accra enclave, because within the Accra enclave there are no lands. For instance, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly has secured a land at Gomwa East, which we are working. The environmental assessments are ongoing. We are doing soil testing and all that. And when it is done, then we are going to build a proper engineered landfill site to augment with the Adepa. But as you know, government alone cannot do this. So the government has to partner with a private entity. So Accra Metropolitan Assembly is partnering with a private entity to procure that landfill site. And I know Ablekuma North have also procuring a land around the Kwa estate. So assemblies are coming together to get this land. But always what I say is, waste management should not be left for government alone. And if the private city needs capital, so the government will make a stable plan, stable conducive environment for the private partnership to come in, for them to support them to do the waste management. Because waste is so expensive. And if they don't have efficiency, it is not to raise results we are all looking for. Because waste management is a pillar in development. If you don't manage the waste well, your country is not going to be viable, because wherever you pass, there are waste. At the moment, everywhere you pass, you see waste. Everywhere you pass, you see waste. It doesn't mean that people are not working, but because the waste disposal side we are having has an issue, and the waste management is the same. It is not turning as it's supposed to turn. So all these things need to be put in place. We need to sit around the table. I think this flood that case, it was not just a natural disaster. It was environmental exposure telling us the kind of failures we are having within the system. So that we sit up and back up and see how we are going to plan. Let's take sanitation as a priority. And based on that, whenever we come and we have our flagship policies, how we work on it. Sanitation should be a flagship policy so that we invest on sanitation. If you don't invest on sanitation, you are not going to have good health in the country.
All right. Now, one final question before you get to go. The question has been raised that we didn't have, the assemblies probably should have started their own or declared their own national or, well, maybe assembly-wide or municipal cleanup exercise and not have to wait for the president to declare tomorrow and Saturday national cleaning days. You do agree that the assembly could have done this work much earlier because, yes, there were health implications, and so we should have done this way earlier.
My brother, after the flood, if assemblies were not to be clearing the waste that we saw, I don't think we would have been walking around in town safely. There is no assembly that have not embarked on waste clearing after the flooding. What His Excellency the President is now saying is, yes, the assemblies have cleared the waste, but we know that people need to come out so that everybody should own. Let's own how to clean our homes. Cleanliness should not be for the assemblies alone. Let's own it. Let's play our part. Everybody should play their part. Sanitation is a collaborative effort. As much as we are collecting, we are taking out, people are still hoarding waste in their homes. So
did you say hoarding? Did you say hoarding? Hello? People are hoarding waste in their homes.
People are still hoarding waste in their homes. Some people are hoarding waste in their homes, still waiting for it to rain so that they will pass it through the drain.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So this cleaning is going to help all those people who are hoarding the waste in their homes. They'll bring it out for it to be collected.
All right.
So that at the end of the day, everybody will be safe. When it is raining, there will be no waste for anybody to go and put through the drain. But always what I say is, any action you take, it is upon your health. When you take a positive action, you have positive health impact. Because when it is raining and you go and throw waste through the drain, it will go and clog a drain, but it will lead to flooding. And we all saw what happened.
All right. So thank you very much, Madam Florence Kuchi. But the point still stands that still the cleanup could have been done by the assembly, or the cleanup involving all the residents could have been called for by the assembly and not have to wait for the president to declare it 2 weeks.
Thank you.
After the incident. All right. Thank you very much, Madam Florence Kuchi.
Okay.
But let me be frank with you that the next flooding may be caused by rubbish in Accra because of our inability to pinpoint that this is a landfill site, a dedicated landfill site.
Oh, so she said we have a depot.
No, she said, but
don't call it.
But you even asked a very good question. What if that place gets
so she
further?
says there's Gomwa East.
So we are very bad at planning.
Gomwa East?
They are working on Gomwa East.
Where's Gomwa East?
In the central region.
No. So would you have to wait until you are inundated with rubbish before you start planning? This is Ghana for you, and it is pathetic how our national institutions have been reduced
But I
to
keep
nothing.
talking about planning.
They don't
plan.
What are we doing? But issue on the national cleanup campaign or exercise, I think it's timely, but not sustainable. Even though Doc is a sustainability expert,
It's not.
it's not sustainable.
It's not.
And I want to urge the government.
When you say it's not sustainable, this one is because we've had unprecedented fails. So yes, we're doing this one to actually clear it because the sustainable way to do it is to ensure that the assemblies have a plan in place to ensure whatever trash is collected on the regular.
That's why we are saying this one.
That's the sustainability.
That's why we are saying that this one is not exactly. So we must. The thing is, Israel.
What would you want to see happen?
Israel, let me come in.
Okay, you talk.
Oh no, you talk.
Israel, we should begin auditing all sanitation contracts in this country. It's becoming a hell because some people are monopolizing these contracts and they are not discharging the services required of them. We have people cleaning up the cities, our streets. Those days, we used to see women and men, hold brooms and sweeping. Sometimes they will even gather the sand from the street. The sand that had gathered on the street, they will collect them.
I believe there's a contract that's been abrogated, the Zoom line.
The Zoom line.
It's real. We must audit all sanitation contracts in this country. And where appropriate, terminate contracts with any other institution or any other company so that we can get value for money. So that we should begin to treat some of these things with some level of seriousness. Because we are using taxpayers' money and we are doling the monies to people as if it is...
We're not getting...
No, we are not getting value.
Why aren't we getting value?
They should terminate the contract.
Is it that we don't understand what it takes to do sanitation? If that is the case, let's go to Singapore and learn from them.
Who says we don't know what has to be done?
That is why I'm asking.
What has to be done?
So Doc said the thing is that we have all the fine laws. We have all the fine institutions.
All the policies.
We have all the policies.
We have all the laws.
Today, if you get a government communicator here, he or she will be able to tell you a litany of things that we have, that even some other countries do not have. But planning, execution, and making sure that at least the ordinary Ghanaian... My issue has to do with ordinary Ghanaian. It appears it's a chess game that we are playing, the political parties are playing. So depending on the party in power, then your people will enjoy. Then the other Ghanaians will suffer.
I want to put in something very quick. I'm listening to the director, Florence, yes. I mean, she will have to say what she has to say for her job and everything. But look, the bigger problem is not being addressed here. She's talking about that we should do what, we should all take responsibility and all that. Yes, every Ghanaian wants the best for him or herself as far as health is concerned. There is a bigger problem as far as sanitation is concerned in Ghana. We all need to agree. Governments must understand this. Sanitation is as problematic as Galamsey. Okay? It's as problematic as any major issue that you want to talk about. Because it's, look, 2014, the then President John Dramani Mahama, he brought up this cleaning thing, national cleaning thing. Why?
Every month.
Yes, every month, monthly cleaning thing. What informed that? Because there was a cholera outbreak, okay? And then he responded by that. The unsustainability that he's talking about, we are cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, let's say every month. This government, I mean, when it came into power, the monthly cleaning thing also came up.
Yeah, it came up.
We have been cleaning before the flood.
We've been doing it.
What were the impact of the cleaning that we're doing? That's the unsustainability. Okay? Tell me, are Ghanaians today ready to go to the street every month and sweep and do that today? Be very realistic with yourself.
I'm not sure.
So you see, the problem with our waste management really starts from the waste generation. we are getting everything wrong with waste generation. And so the moment, because that level is wrong, it just projects into all the other phases of waste management. The generation is a big issue. Look, let's be more practical here.
Right.
The communities around us, around here at this facility, how many dustbins do you see within these communities? Within the house, the structures, the houses, and the community roads and all that, how many dustbins do you see?
Not a lot.
Okay.
You rarely see them, actually.
So when they generate waste, where do you expect them to dispose those waste? Walk how many meters to the nearest skate, which is almost full, or it's even full, or it's not even there. Where do you expect them to dispose the waste?
And you're supposed to pay for it, actually, when you go to dump.
So the person will only pile the waste in a polythene bag somewhere. That's what she was saying, pile in the house. And then when he or she finds the convenience, we just move somewhere and then dump it at the place because, one, there is no good point of disposal. Two, if you tell these households, and let's put ourselves in the shoes of the lower middle households. If you tell them to buy a dustbin worth 1,000 cedis, and then every week when it's full, the the tricycle people will come and take 50 cedis for disposal. Are they ready to pay? In fact, not even about readiness. Do they have
Can they afford
the capacity to pay? So whilst we are trying to blame or trying to shift everything to the Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian, we need to ask ourselves, what are the structures in place? What are the strategies? Somebody will say that, even when government provides the dustbin in the communities, somebody will go and steal. And what are the bylaws doing? What are the bylaws doing? In any case, there are modern technologies whereby you may even have an alternative, which may not be plastic or the dustbin, the plastic one we know. Go to Asinkusia. Asinkusia is known because of the way the chief led this planned community in terms of waste management.
All right.
The dustbins or the waste collectors there are not plastic or dustbins, the one we know. They are metallic tanks.
They've been fixed up.
Painted nicely.
At vantage points.
Vantage points, almost 100 meters, you find that thing there. So how is the person going to carry that thing and then go and sell it to who?
So you feel we should be learning.
We are giving ourselves excuses.
So there's an example we can
yes.
We are giving ourselves excuses.
It's in this country.
It's Asinkusia.
Not Japan.
Yes.
Not Singapore.
Not Singapore.
Ghana.
Not Malaysia.
You see,
Ghana.
These tanks, how do you call them? There's a name for it. There's metallic tanks. In the past, we usually to store water.
The
drums. That's what they've used. Yes, that's what they have used to repurpose it, and then so they fix it on the
in the metal
in the ground like something. And it has a stand nicely. So you just go and then dump in. They have painted the barrels nicely, Ghana flag. That kind of thing.
We should be having some of these.
We should have. So I'm talking about that because people are making the argument that even if government invests in the plastic, people will steal.
That's a local innovation, which is
exactly. You see, we have welders in town.
Maybe your station
we have also,
should
maybe you can go and profile the place.
You can go and profile the place.
It's the neatest town in this country.
Oh, yes.
I see.
Yes.
The neatest place the neatest place in this country.
Okay. It's a small community,
and then enforcement needs to also be put in. So if we've done it everywhere, people should learn to put their rubbish in those.
Yes. Yeah. Because another truth is that if even I want to be a good citizen, I've taken my small drink. There's a waste. And I'm willing to even dispose. Trust me, if you want to walk from here to wherever, you may not find a place to drop. Okay, so let's start thinking from the waste disposal side. Yeah. I wish I can talk about separation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also important.
I wish.
We can come to that. But right now, we've been joined by Richard Ofori Boadi, who's the Kumasi Mayor. He's joining us to also tell us what Kumasi is doing and how they're getting themselves ready for tomorrow. Good morning to you, Mayor. So I believe Kumasi should be ready for tomorrow's national cleanup.
Good morning to you, Israel, and your viewers. Kumasi started this exercise some weeks back
Okay.
Last Saturday, we had a major cleanup exercise across the metropolis and even in some assemblies surrounding the Kumasi metropolitan area. And so with this instruction coming from the president, it's only going to enhance what we are already on ground doing.
All right.
And so we are prepared and we are poised for tomorrow and Saturday.
Did you involve the residents as well, or was just the assemblies?
It's a call to all of us, everybody, residents, security agencies, officials of the assembly. We are supposed to provide logistics, volunteer crews, and a lot. So once we provide the logistics, our anticipation is that everybody will come on board for us to do what we have to do to make sure that our country, our cities are clean.
All right. So what's the plan again? So for tomorrow, as we know that the CEOs and heads of governments and all that, they are coming out. Does Kumasi, and here in Accra, we've been having issues, or we've been having a conversation about where to dump the final disposal site. Does Kumasi have an issue like that, or
we have a major issue with our final disposal site. Final disposal sites ought to have been closed down in 2019. And so if the facility was supposed to be closed down in 2019, or if had used to use it up to 2026, then you should expect the place should be overly full. It's full to beyond its capacity. But we have engineers on ground every day, and so we manage it. And we keep tamping them. We have appeared before the Kumasi Traditional Council, myself and my regional minister, to engage our chiefs and requested for them to offer us land for us to construct new disposal sites. Currently, about 3 areas have been identified for us. So our experts and engineers are there doing feasibility studies to see which one amongst them would best suit the siting or the final disposal site, such that we can manage its environmental repercussions positively. And then we're also looking at areas where we can have the disposal site, and then the waste that goes there could be converted into important commercial use, and see how best we can manage it. And so it's one thing that confronts us, and we're dealing with it.
Okay, so it turns out Kumasi also has an issue with the final disposal site, and so for you're now trying to speak with the chiefs for them to release land.
We have spoken to them. They have assisted us with about 3 different locations.
Okay.
And so we are doing our feasibility studies on those locations to see which one amongst the 3 locations will best suit the siting of a final disposal site, such that we can manage the environmental repercussions positively.
All right. Now, how about flood relief efforts? So for the victims of the floods, what arrangements have been made for them so far?
The victims of the floods are in Accra.
Okay, so Kumasi wasn't impacted?
We had a slight one, minimal, that did not require us to give anything to anybody. And so I think by and large, we are safe over here in Kumasi because we started dredging major drains, major river courses from March, because we had early information about the volumes of rains that we are supposed to have in this country up until somewhere in September. And so our regional minister directed for us to work as early as possible, just so we don't have incidents of flood. And so, fortunately for us, we have not been overwhelmed.
All right. So you're saying Kumasi was smarter than Accra when it comes to planning for the floods?
I am speaking to Kumasi. I don't know what happened in Accra.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for making time to speak with us. Richard Ofori Boadi is a Kumasi mayor. So, yeah, it looks like Kumasi was able to figure out what they had to do in good time.
Yeah, Richard, as for, when someone is also doing well, we need to also recommend the person. I was telling my friend, look, the mayor in Kumasi, I think, is doing quite well. And, not just after the flood, but we've been monitoring him, the way he's, especially with the management of space in Kumasi and all that. We want to encourage him to do more and just make sure that he engages a lot of stakeholders so that he'll be more impactful. I think he's doing quite well, and he must be commended.
Now, we have some comments that have come in, and so let's go read some of them. So we see which other ones. Okay, let me. So this one says, good morning, Joy Prime. It's a long time that I've seen my generous father, Mr. Jantua. May Allah give you long life, Mr. Host. The problem that is dragging the country back is corruption and a lack of transparency from the managers all over the years. This flood issue should also be blamed on human bad attitudes, and it's unfortunate that it has affected my dear father, Mr. Jantua. I pray that next time Almighty Allah should have mercy upon you. And good morning to all panelists in the studio. That's Osman Baga, Sisela East Municipal, Tumu. And we have this other one. Good morning. All said and done, monies meant for flood-related issues sponsored by international organizations have never been utilized all over the years by the past NPP government. For instance, $65 million meant for flood protection cash was diverted to so-called COVID issues, which allegedly were shared for NPP internal matters. Same $45 million meant for Odo drain and NPP relative to flooding got missing. Okay, that's actually not the case, which means the NPP administration really caused havoc to the nation. Okay, so this is from Papa Bisu, my own Papa Bisu. So this other comment, good morning, Prime Morning. This is Professor 1, inside Obiasia Dancing, the Dancing North District. A flooding issue is a recurring problem that over the years we have learned nothing from its happenings in the past. When we clean the debris after flooding, no proper pragmatic measures are put in place to prevent it from happening. The money, laws, and enforcement are there, but we are not using it. Too sad. That's okay. So then, next, today, Mr. Gento is saying flooding is a national issue and shouldn't be politicized. Really? And Akufo-Addo, he never saw it that way and took the president on. He said Akufo-Addo was incompetent because of floods. Even when COVID struck, Jantua was on Akufo-Addo every time. Today, what has changed? Okay, so Mr. Jantua isn't in the studio. He actually had to leave us, but I would have wished that he had an opportunity to respond. National development planning and not political development planning. I agree with Lawyer Jantua. We don't need to politicize our development planning, irrespective of whose political party is in power. Proper development planning is in the interest of the state. Also, the citizens should learn communal labor where it is necessary so that we do not always wait for government intervention when things get worse. That's Abdul Nashir Zakaria from Bimbela. And so as a birthday dedication, we'll look at that later. And this, dear KMJ, I'm worried. I get worried anytime I watch the Public Accounts Committee because state officials squander huge sums of monies and the corporates are left to go to enjoy their spoils. Considering the amount of officialdom either misappropriate, misapply, and steal is so gargantuan that if we start prosecuting these criminals spanning from successive governments, it will rake in a lot of money without going to the IMF and also deter criminally minded people. I hear Mahama is putting out specialized courts to deal drastically with the canker. We must be serious as a country and punish criminals. Good morning. That's from Charles Echampong, Sefri Humbre in the Bibiani and we also the Quiet Municipality. And let's take a few more. Akunsi Gariba from Tamale says, good morning, Lai. When the NDC administration cancelled the Zoom Lion contract, the praise singers of the NDC administration were happy. No one subjected the NDC administration into critical scrutiny as to whether they have an alternative waste management organization to take charge of the waste in the country. If care is not taken, Ghana economy will be crashed like the Accra floods, because the praise singers are still telling Ghanaians that the economy is doing well when we, the Ghanaians, are not feeling it. A word to the wise is enough. All right, so those were some of the comments you sent in to us, and I'm coming back to my panelists. We're about to wrap up. Any final thoughts on the floods? Otherwise, I would want us to touch on the other issue, which is the codifying of the chieftaincy, laws.
I want the local government to hold these MDCs responsible, because it appears our decentralization system is breaking down. Because if at every point you would want the central government to instruct you or to even nationalize or even drive the conversation, then it means that you are not doing well. And as Doc intimated, you are the representative of the president or the government at the grassroots level. So if you are not taking things to a level where Ghanaians will benefit beyond even taxing them, collecting taxes or levying them, you should be able to take some pragmatic steps to sanitize the society. Discipline, where to dump rubbish and where to even release urine and other things must be well designated. We must have clearly set out structures and system in place. It's surprising, Israel. Our assemblies are not functioning to our expectations.
The way they're supposed to.
And to me, it's worrying because our decentralization system is breaking down. And the time is ripe for us to find a way of resolving the situation so that we can revamp it, because it's been one of the credible systems we put in place. Yet, we have not even benefited. Ghanaians have not benefited. So we must be able to do something about it.
Which has led to the call that we should, vote.
Exactly. So that they can be now directly responsible to their constituents.
Right, Doc.
Yeah, Israel, I think what I want to advise, once again, I think we have to go to the president and the local government minister, and of course the administrator of common funds. Next year, God willing, the budget allocation, the District Assembly Common Fund allocation to the MMDCs. This year, I think that the budget or the allocation for the health sector was 20%. And a lot of them went into the construction of cheap compounds and, the public, the new policy that came with health. Okay, so there was a 20% allocation. I am pleading. Sanitation affects the basic health care that we've been talking about. It affects almost everything. Let us allocate much higher percentage. I wish you can go about 40%. Let's use that one to invest. And then, when we allocate about that 40%, we should just ensure that every district assembly use that 40% to invest in sanitation infrastructure.
Right.
So that we can have some improvement in that area. So next, I expect more budgetary allocation within the sanitation sector. And then let us see, we want Ghanaians to feel or see the investment being done, specifically into infrastructure, the waste bins and everything, and of course, the education and sensitization.
All right. So then the other issue I want us to touch on is the president saying that we'll codify chieftaincy succession to end disputes caused by corrupt kingmakers. Before we get to do that, we've been joined by Joshua Samoa. He's a senior forecaster at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Good morning to you, Mr. Samoa. So we had we had a weather warning from GMET. It wasn't quite clear to me when we're supposed to expect the rains, but since we have you on the line, you could just tell us what that weather warning was about.
All right, thank you, Adrian. So basically, the warning was for areas in the northern parts of Ghana. Okay. The upper east, the northeast, and then the northern regions. That's where we're expecting the rains to be experienced. For places in southern Ghana, we're just cautioning that there was a low probability that we'll get some slight rain. Okay. What a night this morning. So it wasn't more like a warning for southern Ghana. It's for the northern portion.
Oh, all right. So now, so are they experiencing the rains that were anticipated in the northern part of the country?
Yes. So it started in the eastern side last night, and this morning areas in the upper west were also experiencing some rain. So that's the one actually came.
All right. Now, for us in the south, or since we have you on the line, are you able to tell us what to expect, let's say, for the rest of the day and into tomorrow?
Well, today looks quite good. So mostly stable weather conditions. We just be sun and cloud alternating for most places in southern Ghana. But in the evening, we're anticipating some rains to come in the eastern, the Volta, and parts of the Ashanti region. And then later in the day, in the night going to tomorrow morning, there's a possibility that areas in the coastal portions will also get some rainfall. we'll definitely update the public on that system that we're expecting to get into the ground in 2019.
All right. So while I have you on the line, I would want to find out, is there a way that you can make your forecast more, say, easier for us to get to understand? Because when we see this, we share a whole lot of charts with us. But I noticed that you, in recent times, have been sending out some alerts on SMS. I think those ones are much simpler. So are you able to, can we expect that if there's any significant, weather warning that's coming up or thunderstorm that's coming up, we can expect that on our phones, like via those alerts?
Yes, so that's something that we are trying to operationalize. So if we expect any warning significant, having significant impacts on any location, that will send them through the SMS or any other platform that will reach the people who are at risk. The challenge we have with that kind of messaging is that it only focuses on the hazard. So whether it's going to rain or not. But its impact is not so much communicated in that kind of alert.
All right.
And so we're trying to use the impact-based forecast as a complement to that hazard forecast, so that if you get that information, you know its impact in the area as well. So that's what we use the colors that you see in the map for. If you're seeing green, it means that your risk is very low. So there's no possibility of flooding in the area. You can still go about your activities like that. If you're seeing yellow, it means that the risk is a bit less increasing, but the impact will be minor. So you can still be doing your activities, but you have to be cautious. But once you see orange, then will mean that there's a possibility that you have some flood if you're living in a low-lying area where flooding is quite common. And so you need to prepare for those situations. And once we give you red, then it means that if you live in a low-lying area where flood occurs, you have to evacuate. So in that case, you have to take an action. So we use the colors to sort of tell what action we should take based on the weather that we are expecting.
Okay. Are you able to anticipate or forecast that we're likely to have the kind of rain we had last Monday that caused the floods in the near future?
So that kind of rainfall in Accra has a return period of about 10 years.
Okay.
So what it means is that if you get one, it will take you about 10 years to get another one.
All right.
It doesn't mean that we cannot have another one next year. But what I mean is that it's a rare event. It doesn't happen frequently. So it's not something that we're actually anticipating anytime soon.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Joshua Asamoah. Is a senior forecaster at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. So yes, I feel every now and then we'll be reaching out to you so that you can get to assure us, because this, as we've spoken to you now, is more assuring. We've gotten the understanding that we don't have anything to worry about. The most exciting bit about what you've had to say is that what happened last Monday that caused the major floods happens like every 10 years. And so we can rest assured that we're not going to have any such thing in the near future.
Israel, how I wish he didn't say that.
Anything can happen.
Why though?
How I wish he didn't say that.
Is that it doesn't mean that next year we're not going to have.
But the likelihood,
yes,
is more of the probability of it happening next year is very low. That's what he's trying to say. But me, I would still wish he didn't say that because we know our people. They will say next year it will rain heavily, and then they will relax with
their mind will relax.
Everything will relax.
Anyway,
he didn't try for us at all.
Oh no! I mean, he's
his point of view.
And I like the question you asked him in terms of the messaging and the other options that you have to use to communicate. I think it's good you are taking this up, because one thing that is now a problem or has been a problem since is the communication of science to the ordinary person.
Simplifying
science communication is a big problem, and that is why even today people don't believe in climate change. Okay, so it's good they try to decode.
Yeah.
Simplify their communication
as much as possible, so that people can easily understand. Yeah, so I think it's a good question, and they should keep on working on that to ensure that the very ordinary person in the village, in the cocoa farm interior, understand anytime they communicate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. I said we're going to have the conversation about what the president had to say about us codifying chieftaincy succession to end disputes. But unfortunately, we can't go into that. We've run out of time. But yes, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for making time to join us for News Flash this morning. So I have in the studio Austin Bracco Powers, who's a lawyer and researcher, and now Kwame Jantua, lawyer Kwame Jantua. He was with us earlier, but he's had to leave midway through the program. And then Dr. Pa Kwesi Ofori Boadi is a sustainability consultant and lecturer at UNIMAC. But here at Multimedia, we're also mobilizing relief support for thousands of people affected by the devastating floods that have swept through parts of Accra. You may have seen the heartbreaking images and videos. Behind every picture is a family struggling to rebuild its life. Today, they need our support. We are appealing to individuals and corporate organizations to support this humanitarian effort by donating essential relief items or cash. Priority relief items include non-perishable food items, drinking water, clothes, toiletries, medical supplies, mosquito nets, mattresses, blankets, and buildings. Cash donations can also be sent to MTN mobile money number 059-303-8842. 059, let me repeat the number, 059-303-8842. The account is in the name of Multimedia Group Limited or Daniel Boyfew. The bank account to the UBA Ghana Industrial Area, and then the branch account number is on the screens. The account name again is the Multimedia Foundation. And then for those of you who have the items that you want to bring to us, you can bring them to the offices of Multimedia Group Limited. We are at Kokomlemle here in Accra. Now, together, let us stand with our brothers and sisters in the time of their greatest need.